Yes, we are live. Hey, everybody. We are live with Patiently Waiting for Nothing podcast. How's everyone doing? We are live. Hey, everybody. How's everyone doing? Live. I always forget to turn this off, my fault. How's everyone doing? Live. I always It's so funny because every week I make a little note. Don't forget to turn it off. Double echo. There you go. So, thank you for joining us tonight. We are excited about talking with Katherine Winston, who I refer to as a Kahirit. So, you'll hear me. You will hear it, or moot, you will hear us going through a different variation of names. But it's all in love, all in the same. So I just want to welcome everybody. We've been doing this podcast now for about a year and talking about patiently waiting for nothing. And really working on what it means to be patient for us during this time that the world is changing, the cosmic energy is shifting, our very personal lives are changing. So sometimes you just need to be patient so that you can see what the universe is working out for each one of us. So I'm excited that tonight we're going to be talking with Katherine Mood about a very important subject, especially as my person gets ready to turn 65. So, this is pertinent to my life and probably to many people who are in my tribe. I know that I have quite a few people older than me, several wonderful elders that actually mentor me. And then I also have quite a few people younger than me. However, for those of us who are in my age group, this is going to be a significant information. So make sure that you have your pen and paper ready and that you have questions that you want to ask. Definitely shoot us some information. We're live on Zoom. We're live on Spreaker. We're live on Facebook. And then if you don't get your questions answered tonight, you know how to reach me. And at the end of the show, Kathy will give you more information on how to reach her. However, before we start talking about Medicare, I want you to know who this amazing woman is in my life. So I met Kathy over 30 years ago, and it was during a time that our children, actually I met them before we started doing Master Force, but we actually orchestrated Master Force out of a conversation about what do we do to spiritually support our sons. And so we began hosting these meditation classes in my home, and Moot would come over and cook and bring her kids and Angie. So it was three of us that would, and we all had sons, and but we also spoke to their tribe, and we spoke to the young men in our community. And before you know it, we didn't just have the teenage boys coming, but the teenage girls coming, and with the teenage girls, their parents came. So, Kathy, I just really wanted to acknowledge you for being a part of that, that original start and being the listening, even for my children, because my children know you as their auntie, their other mother. One of the things that was important for me is that if my children couldn't talk to me, they had other mothers and fathers around them that they could confide in. And that was so important to me because I may not be the one that can hold the listening for them or can hear them when they're struggling, but you were there and you're still there. So I want you all to meet. Yes, I want you to meet my dear friend. Last one of them. Yes. So Kathy, tell them your side of the story.
It's been way more than 30 years.
Yes, it's been more than
that
30.
we've been just sisters.
Yes.
You may as well call us sisters. We were single.
Yeah.
And the three of us were raising our children, and we just had to just make sure that our children were supported with, with all the things that they needed, because, as single parents, we mothers may want to be fathers, but that's not what we are. No. We're mothers.
We're mothers.
And so sometimes, you got to get with your girlfriends and your men friends, and you got to, make stuff available to your children that you can't give them. And so that's what we did. And it was really, even our kids still talk about it today.
Yes, they do.
And each of our children always see us as their other mother, because that's how it was.
That's how it was. And we really did have a village.
Yes, we did.
We had a village, and we actually took it seriously. And we did what we could to support and our children and one another. And then when we went on to have relationships, we supported those relationships too.
Absolutely.
So we were a village. So so now tell us a little bit about your background, your work history, your credentials, and then how in the world did you get into being an agent of Medicare? Because I love it.
Well, as you know, Mood, I have reinvented myself so many times until it's just really crazy.
That's that 10 of diamond.
Hey, when we met, I was a hairstylist.
Yes.
And I did that for, 20 some odd years professionally. Then I owned a mortgage company and got out of the mortgage industry when the wall crashed down or came tumbling down.
It did tumble.
It did. Yeah. And then I wound up injured. I wound up having a couple of accidents that wound up throwing me into, actually got me into Medicare before I even got into Medicare.
Oh, got it. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So in 2016, that's when I became eligible for Medicare, and that's when I became a Medicare recipient. And so I had firsthand training on Medicare, but just not all the training that I have today.
Right.
So in 2016, I was awarded disability because I was in two really bad accidents, one in 2014, one in 2015, that actually left me disabled, where I couldn't stand for long periods of time or sit for long periods of time because it messed up my back, and I torn rotator cuffs and had all kinds of crap that wound up happening because of these accidents.
Yes.
And so, like I said, they awarded me disability. And a part of being disabled is 24 months after you've initially applied, you become Medicare eligible.
Okay.
So then Medicare sends you Medicare A and B. Now, to my credit, because I worked 40 quarters, I was able to get both Medicare A and B. And I didn't have to worry about not having one or the other. And we'll get into that a little bit later on. But how I got into doing Medicare was actually on a fluke, because I was doing, a sister of mine conned me into getting my insurance, my life insurance license, and my health insurance license. Oh. And so since 2018, so I had been a life insurance agent.
Gotcha.
Doing life insurance. And then in 2020, I moved to Columbus, Ohio.
Okay.
And when I got to Columbus, well, actually, step back to 2019. 2019, I moved to Georgia from Illinois. I moved to Georgia. I wound up getting a job with a company doing just regular marketplace health insurance that most people under the age of 65 get. And when I left Georgia, or I stayed with that company for a little while, but I left Georgia, came to Ohio, and wasn't doing anything. And I had to find an apartment. And when I found the apartment, the day that I found the apartment, I got a text stating that I want a job doing Medicare. And
had you applied for the job?
Like,
had you?
Okay. No, I hadn't. I know it was like God threw it in my lap.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's like, "Here, baby, this is yours."
Yes.
And so I was like, "Well, yeah, I'll take it," because it was a work from home position.
Mm-hmm.
It was paid, so I wasn't having to have to worry about commissioned or any of that.
Exactly.
That's like one of the biggest downfalls of being in the insurance industry.
Mm-hmm.
Most people have you as an independent contractor and you're on commission.
Yes.
So if you don't sell no policies, then you don't eat. Or if that person who bought the policy from you decide that they don't want it before 9 months is up, they come back and take the money.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so you know, like I said, I found the apartment on the 15th of August, and the 16th I got a text asking me that I want to work from home doing insurance. And so I was thinking that it was regular medical insurance, not Medicare insurance. And the job started 8 days after I moved into my new apartment.
Oh, my
I moved in
goodness.
on September 1st, and the 8th of September of 2020, I got hired with this company. And what I loved about them, I already had like 12 licenses for 12 different states.
Okay.
Well, they came and gave me 30 more states.
Oh.
That was a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have to pay for it. They just gave me 30 states to do health insurance.
Right.
So, and they trained me, and, you know, I had to go through all kinds of training and licensing stuff and all of that. And I did all of that. And so here I am today.
Wonderful.
I wound up being for Medicare, and I love it. It's a labor of love because, like I said before, I am Medicare. I do get Medicare.
Mm-hmm.
And I know so many people that are turning 65 or are Medicare eligible or coming into it.
Right.
Or who have disability and they're getting Medicare.
Exactly.
So you know, it's a lot of different reasons to get Medicare. And we'll talk about them. But it's a labor of love for me because it's like we seniors got to stick together.
We seniors got to stick together.
We seniors got to stick together. So I am a big champion for making sure that seniors live fulfilled lives and good lives.
That is so wonderful because my daughter, your daughter, be on me all the time. Mom, you're a senior. I'm like, oh my goodness. Okay. You know, she said, you know how many benefits you're supposed to be getting, and you. I think the other day she said you are too proudful, and I'm like, you know, I don't know if it's proudful. I just don't know if, you know, I've been taking care of myself my whole life, and sometimes I just don't look over there. You know,
and probably you don't know the benefits.
I don't know what's there. Yeah,
and probably how to get them.
Yeah,
and so that's what I do. That's one of the things I do.
And you see how that just dropped in my lap. It was just like the perfect, like, okay, thank you. You know, because you were like, Moo, your birthday is coming up. You need to be looking at this.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. It is time for you to start looking at it. And let me just share one of the things that people need to understand is that Medicare is just not available for folks turning 65.
Okay.
But Medicare is available to anyone who is considered to be disabled. And that could be at any age. Okay. That you can get both Medicare A and B. Okay.
Right.
So if you're disabled or you have renal dialysis, or you have renal I'm trying to think of the name of this, but it's
renal
anyways
failure.
renal failure.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. But it's called something else.
Yeah. Okay.
But they know what I'm talking about when I say renal, because they know renal dialysis.
It has to do with the kidneys, exactly.
Absolutely, the kidney
and dialysis.
Kidney disease.
Yes.
Yeah, if you have kidney disease,
yes,
then you are also Medicare eligible.
Okay.
So there are several different reasons why you can get Medicare, but the most common one is when you're turning 65. Now, usually when you're turning 65 is when you want to sign up for Medicare. So you sign up for Medicare 3 months before your 65th birthday, the month of your 65th birthday, or 3 months after. So you have a total of 7 months in which to apply for Medicare A and B.
Suppose you missed that 7-month period. You have to wait?
No, you don't have to wait, but there's a possibility you could be penalized.
Oh. So you have to sign up?
Yes, you don't have to take your Social Security, but you have to take your Medicare. You have to sign up for your Medicare. Because one of the things is when you sign up for Medicare, for most people, some people don't get all of this, but most people get Parts A, Parts B, and Parts D. All right. So Part A is hospital. Part B is medical. And Part D is prescription drug coverage.
Got it.
Now, 7 months after you have turned, in that 7-month window, because this is a 7-month window, okay? So after that 7th month, you have exactly, and this is only if you're not covered by an employer coverage. So if you're working at age 65, and you are medically covered by your employer, then the only thing you have to sign up for is Part A, and then you can get Part B once you're no longer working.
Got it.
Okay? But you need to apply for Medicare 30 days before you retire, or 30 days after you retire. 60 days after you retire. You have to get your Medicare Part A and B, because you don't want to be penalized for Part B. Now, also, when you sign up for Medicare and you get Medicare Part A and B and Part D, you want to get a prescription drug plan at least. If you don't get nothing else, there are some people that only have Medicare Part A and B and D, but they don't have the prescription drug plan to go with D. Because if you do not get at least a prescription drug plan within 63 days after the 7th month window, okay, then you will be penalized each day that you go without a prescription drug plan.
Even if you don't take prescription drugs?
You don't have to take prescription drugs. I don't take prescription drugs.
Right, but you got to have a plan in place in the event.
But you got to have a prescription drug plan. This is Medicare demands that you have, and trust me, they will penalize you. I have people that I talk to on a regular basis that I have to inform them, you're going to be penalized. And then I can also tell them how to try and avoid it if they qualify. So the way you can avoid it, if you've had A and B and D, but you never got a plan, the way to avoid the penalty is to contact Social Security. That number is 800-772-1213 and apply for what is called Extra Help, or LIS. And that is extra help with prescription drug coverage. Mm-hmm. If you qualify, that will help you to get around having that penalty. That's the one way to get around that penalty. Or if your income is low enough, apply for public aid, for Medicaid, excuse me. Mm-hmm. That's another way to help get around it. But other than that, you're going to get that penalty. And if you don't qualify for either, look forward to a penalty.
So what's the difference now between Medicaid and Medicare?
So Medicare is offered by the federal government. It is a federal government medical plan that there are a lot of private carriers that have a contract with the federal government to act on behalf of Medicare. So like Medicare Advantage has a contract with the federal government. The different Medicare Advantage carriers have a contract with the federal government to provide medical plans to people who need Medicare. So Medicaid is a state-provided program. Mm-hmm. So each state has their own form of Medicaid. Okay, and in California, it's not called Medicaid; it's called Medi-Cal.
Okay.
All right, that's like the only state that has a different name for Medicaid. Okay. I mean, they say Hoosier Care and Mass Health and all of that, but it's still known as Medicaid. But in California, it's known as Medi-Cal.
Got it.
Now, Part A and Part B only pays 80% of your medical bills.
So Part A and B pays 80% of medical bills.
A pays 80% of your hospital coverage. Mm-hmm. B pays 80% of your medical coverage.
Okay. A is hospital. Right. And B is, medical.
All right. Mm-hmm. So, what I do is I actually enroll people in Medicare Advantage plans. Now, there are two ways to go. You can go with Medicare Advantage or you can go with Medicare Supplement. I'll explain both of them. So first, Medicare Advantage. They call that Part C. Okay. So when you hear people saying you need to get Part C, Medicare Advantage is Part C. Okay. Now, the beauty of Medicare Advantage is that some of the plans have $0 premiums and no deductibles. Okay?
Okay.
And then there are some that do have premiums and deductibles. Okay? Now, Medicare Advantage is like I call it an all-inclusive hotel. So Medicare Advantage comes with prescription drug coverage. So they have Medicare Advantage prescription drug plans, better known as MAPD plans. Then you have the Medicare Advantage plans that don't have prescription drug plans attached to them, and those are just straight MA plans.
Okay.
And I'll tell you who gets which in just a moment. They come with prescription, MAPDs come with prescription drug coverage. Most of them come with dental, vision, and hearing, or they may come with dental and vision, or hearing and dental, or hearing and vision, but they come with some form of that. But a lot of them come with all three. So you don't pay anything extra for it. They also, most of them will give you gym memberships, over-the-counter benefits, such as money to buy aspirins, vitamins, high blood pressure monitors, and stuff like that. But they do include your primary care physician, your specialist, your hospital costs. It includes any labs or diagnostic testing, mental health. It includes all of your mental health benefits. So you have inpatient hospital, plus you have outpatient group or individual therapy. Which is really good.
Do they offer support for alternative medicines or Chinese doctors or anything like that?
Some of the plans, some of the Medicare Advantage plans offer acupuncture, chiropractic care. And some of them, I've even seen some of them offer, what is it called? What is the osteopathic? Natural healing. So some of the plans, I've even seen that in the plans.
Oh, naturopathic.
Naturopathic, thank you. Naturopathic. So some of them do offer naturopathic doctors or benefits for that in the plans. They give you hospice, in-home help. You have ambulance, ground, and air. And let me tell you something. If you find a plan that has an ambulance air benefit in it, and it's only like $200 and some odd, jump for joy, because I've had clients to tell me about them having to be airlifted, and the bill was like $45,000.
$45,000.
Yes. So some of these things can be very, very expensive. So that's the reason why I kind of advocate the Medicare Advantage, because the way those plans are set up, they have copays. Okay. At different states, copays vary. So like in Florida and California, they have some of the best plans that I've seen in terms of copays, because a lot of them have little to no copays in them. Okay? A lot of their plans have little to no copays in them. And a lot of those plans are $0 premium plans.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Also, there are times when you sign up for Medicare and you only can get Part A, or you only can get you can only get Part A, because Part B, you can get Part B as long as you pay the Part B premium. So right now, the Part B premium is $170.10.
So they will take, if you go to if you start your retirement, they take that out of your Social Security?
Once you sign up for Medicare and you get Part B, yes, they take it directly out of your Social Security before you get it, unless you are getting Medicare and Medicaid. If you're getting Medicare and Medicaid, they pay your Part B. Medicaid pays the Part B premium for you.
Okay.
So there are times when you won't qualify, or for some folks don't qualify for Part A. And the reason why they don't qualify for Part A is usually because they were like at-home, stay-at-home moms and didn't work.
Right.
And because you have to have accumulated 40 quarters in order to get Part A. What I mean by 40 quarters if you notice on your paycheck stubs, for those who are employed or for those who are unemployed, those who are independent contractors or self-employed.
Mm-hmm.
So for independent contractors and self-employed, you pay FICA. And FICA and Medicare taxes. And so that's the Part A. That's what you're paying for.
Okay. When
you're employed, you pay a certain percentage of FICA because the employer usually pays 2/3 and you usually pay 1/3 of the FICA.
Yeah, that's a tax.
And you pay Medicare taxes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that is for Part A. So you pay for Part A before you retire, or before you get Medicare. You pay for Part A in advance. Now, for those who didn't work and get 40 quarters and earn it, you could actually get Part A, but it's going to cost you. It's going to be very, very expensive to get Part A. So people who normally didn't work and didn't get Part A usually don't get Part A, or if they're married, when the spouse died, they're able to live off of their benefits. And so they may be able to get Part A based on that.
So that's, what is that, like 10 years? Almost like 10 years for 40 quarters? It's almost like 10 years.
It's about 10 years. 40 quarters is about 10 years.
Look at me, I'm counting because I'm trying to see, did I work that long?
Yeah, well, you paid in, so you really, it doesn't take very long to get part.
Yeah, I was in corporate. I was in corporate for about 20 years, so yeah, I should have something.
Well, think about, you do have Part A, but I was self-employed.
Yeah.
Majority of my life, but I did pay FICA and Medicare taxes when I, at the end of the year. So I had enough quarters in to get Medicare Part A and B when my untimely injuries occurred. So I was able to get it. So, okay.
That's
great. Medicare Advantage. Now, the drawback of Medicare Advantage is they have copays. And there are people who don't want copays. They think copays are bad, but they're really not, if you ask me. But, I'm not everybody. So, I have to allow people to feel how they feel.
I was going to say, but don't most of your medical plans have copays?
If you're doing Medicare supplements, so Medicare supplements, some of them have copays, but not a lot of them. So if you're getting like Plan G, Plan F, Plan C is no longer unless you had it before, I believe it's 2020. So as long as you've had Plan C before 2020, then they'll let you keep that plan. But Plan G, Plan N, Plan F, especially Plan F, Plan F gives you, you pay a high premium for a Medicare supplement. So to me, that's one of the drawbacks. You pay a high premium every month. It could range anywhere from, I want to say, $100 on up.
Oh, wow.
Okay, and when I say on up, I do mean on up. You have to go through underwriting after, wait a minute, let me get that correct. You're guaranteed acceptance at age 65. Okay? So, however, at age 65 is guaranteed acceptance.
Okay.
But if you leave your Medigap plan and you want to go back to it, you go through underwriting. And the drawback about underwriting is that if you have two medical conditions, so say, for instance, you have diabetes and high blood pressure, which is very, very common, you're an automatic denial. If you have high blood pressure and diabetes, okay, and you leave the plan and you want to go back to med subs or Medicare supplement, you're automatic denial. You'll be denied.
Well, this is a good time to tell people, please join my public group called Coaching for Optimal Health on Facebook, because we really, really, really work to have everybody not have those two common diseases.
In this country, it's kind of hard.
It's kind of hard. It is, but you have to literally, that's why we call it optimal health. It's really inside of a conversation of self-preservation and self-care that starts long before 65, right?
Well, yes. And not only that, though, the reason why I said it's kind of hard to avoid it for a lot of Americans, because your food is sick. You're eating sick food.
Yeah.
And so when you're eating sick food, guess what? You get sick.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's why I say and most Americans eat meat. They're big on meat, pork, beef, chicken. And what people don't understand, they think pork is really bad, but chicken and turkey is worse.
Yeah, all of our foods are just being overprocessed right now.
They're being overprocessed, but the chickens and the turkey is where a lot of people wound up with diabetes.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Chicken and turkey.
Do you know why that is?
I can't tell you exactly. There have been several documentaries done.
Okay.
On it. You can find them on YouTube.
I'm definitely going to make that part of my research. Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. You can find them on Netflix. Maybe even find them on YouTube, because anything you can find on Netflix or anywhere else, you can find it on YouTube. So, but you want to be aware that chicken is really, really hard on the body. Yeah,
well, I definitely know it causes high production of mucus and inflammation. So mucus and inflammation, if you study Dr. Sebi, he'll tell you that those are the two major proponents of illness, any illness.
Right. Right. It's absolutely. And not only that, but most chickens are filled with antibiotics because they're factory farm. Mm-hmm. The chickens get so fat that they can't even walk.
Yeah, they wobble.
And they're living in their feces. They're living in their own feces. This is the reason why they're shooting them up with antibiotics. Mm-hmm. And the drawback is the Food and Drug Administration is headed by people who were the vice president of
Purdue and all the chicken farms and everything. That's right. That's right. That's right. And they continue to pass laws to support the money and not necessarily, yeah.
And even with American Cancer Society or the American Diabetes Society, they still promote eating chicken, turkey, beef and pork. They promote it.
Yeah. Hospitals do too. It's so interesting that when people go in the hospital and they have these nutritionists, and I'm thinking, the best thing you can do if you're sick is to fast. And then the meals that they give you is like that, that's kind of hard, isn't it? I mean, dairy itself.
It's because these major companies such as Purdue and Armour and all these other major meat processing companies, and I think there are 5 of them, they are the ones that are giving these large donations.
Yes.
To these different organizations.
That's right.
So they're putting donations in front of honesty and truth.
Yes, I can.
And they won't even address it. A lot of these like Susan J. Comer, cancer.
Yeah.
I've seen documentaries where they tried to talk to them about diabetes, about the diet plans that they're offering people online, and they wouldn't even defend them.
Wow.
So basically, the whole nut in the shell is you got to really be able to think for yourself when it comes to what you put in your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
What you put in your body, you really got to start to think for yourself.
That's right. That's right.
So, and we know that dairy is another causer of mucus,
And so many other things for African Americans. I mean, for people of color, it's like the worst thing you can do. And the first thing they give them milk. And it's like there's so many different choices in milk right now. They don't all have to come from a cow,
Thank you.
And then the processing of milk is not the same way they used to do it when we were growing up. We really did have dairy fresh milk. I mean, I used to go to Mississippi in the summer and I learned how to milk the cow, and that was.
But your cow wasn't shot up with antibiotics.
No, it wasn't on the machine and the machine pumping them and somebody giving them a shot.
But the cow, plus that cow is shot up with the antibiotics. Yeah. And if it's not shot up with it, it's in his food.
That's right. Yeah.
So you got a cow that you're drinking milk, and the milk it's got antibiotics in it, and so it's killing your immune system.
Yeah.
Because that's what antibiotics do.
That's right. Shut it down. Mm-hmm.
That's right. So people don't understand this, and I'm looking at the thing with even the milk shortage with babies.
The formula, I know. It's
like mothers, God gave you milk.
Mm-hmm.
God gave you milk. Mm-hmm. What do you mean a shortage?
Mm-hmm.
There should not be a shortage.
And then when people argue the point, everybody can't nurse. I said, that's what they want to convince you of. But I promise you, there are ways you can, and I don't have enough milk. I nurse, I come home from work was the cool. What I did, give me a bottle of Heineken, a small bottle, drink that hop starts generating milk. And if you don't want to do that, there's all kind of milk thistle tea and other things,
You can do yeast. You
can
do the yeast.
Nutritional
yeast.
Yes. Brewers is so many ways to make milk. There are a lot of
different things that mothers can do to generate. And let me tell you, I breastfed both of my babies.
Yeah.
And your baby, just the motion of your baby nursing on you will make your milk come.
That's right.
Every time that baby get hungry, trust me, your breast gonna start filling up.
That's right.
You're gonna feel it.
And all of I was telling somebody, my older two children, we didn't even have a bottle because I had the opportunity to be an at-home mom. So I didn't even use bottles or pacifiers. Right. I was like, this is what we doing, and that's how we literally, if you do that, your immune system goes to the child. So you don't have to worry about all these shots and stuff they're trying to give your children because they get your immunity.
And my son wouldn't even take a bottle.
Okay.
He wouldn't even take a bottle. I went from the breast to a sippy cup.
I did too at 3 months. And I remember when one time we had bought a bottle for Tia. And Rute was 5.5 years older than Tia. He took that bottle and threw it away. And he was like, mommy. And I was like, that's 10 a diamond. He's like, no, she don't drink out a bottle. Smart kids, right? But this is how we have to protect our community. And we really have to go at it so hard because people outside of our community, they are not our friend. Y'all keep thinking because they got on a white coat that they have more authority and more knowledge and more sense, but they don't. And even those educated that's our color, they've been convinced. Okay, so we have to take a stand for our children. Hard stand.
Well, we have to take a stand for ourselves.
Yes.
Because, it's like the airplane conversation. You get on the airplane, the first thing they tell you that if the plane is going down, secure yourself first, then you secure your child.
That's right. Put that mask on you. Exactly.
And there's a reason for it.
That's right.
Because, listen, if you do not secure yourself and you die, ain't nobody gonna be there for your children under most circumstances. Nobody's going to do for your child like you would. So the best thing to do is secure yourself first, then your child.
That's what calmed my rebellion about seatbelts. Because I did not like seatbelts. And we grew up in the 70s where it wasn't a law. It
wasn't necessary.
It wasn't, they didn't make you insist that they didn't have it where it automatically went on you or nothing. They didn't even have them in there. But one of the things after I had children, it's like you do all of this to make sure that they have a car seat and they turn the right way and they're doing, and it's like if you are doing all of that and then you don't put on your seatbelt, if you have an accident, you can't take care of yourself or your child. So that's
you
what
might go flying out the window.
Come on,
who's gonna take care of your baby?
Who's gonna take care of the baby? And that's what cured. That was my okay. I can't rebel because I don't want somebody else to have to take care of my child.
Absolutely.
So that's right. Take care of yourself first. Exactly.
Yeah. So but we're not encouraged to do those things.
And there's a reason we are. So I want to get back to this conversation because I know there are people like myself who are reluctant to get into these processes. How can people ease into this? Is it just calling this number that you gave us, or
it's just a matter of picking up the phone? Mm-hmm. Okay, so you're in January, right?
Yes, my birthday's in January.
The 3 months before is October, November, December. So you can start the first 3 months before your birthday. Mm-hmm. Pick up the phone and call that 800-772-1213 and tell them you want to get enrolled in Medicare Part A and B.
Okay.
If you are working and have employer coverage, you tell them you want to enroll in Part A, but you're still working and you still have employer coverage.
Got it.
Okay. Mm-hmm. But that's when you want to get started. Now, if you miss those first 3 months, then you have the month of your birthday. Okay. And you got the 3 months after that.
Okay.
So that would be February, March, April. You would have to get enrolled by then.
Right.
Okay.
So between October and April. Right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, but once you get enrolled in Medicare Part A and B and D, you want to get a secondary plan. It could be Medicare Advantage or Medicare Supplement. But you need to get a secondary plan because if you don't, you'll only be covered for 80% of hospital or 80% of medical. So you want to make sure that you are covered because if you're going to the hospital, if you just happen to have an accident and you're wound up in the hospital, whatever that bill is, you're going to be responsible for 20% of the cost. So if that's like $100,000, and it's easy for a hospital bill to become $100,000.
Yes.
So if that's $100,000, that means you're on the hook for $20,000 of that bill.
Now, so is the secondary plan? So you have to apply someplace else for the secondary plan?
Yes, you do. So that's when people call me.
Okay.
All right. So that's when clients call me or they see those commercials on TV that tell them, you get this plan and you get all these benefits and they give you this much money and all of that. That's what that's about. Medicare Advantage. Okay.
Okay.
But that's when they call me and I help them.
So can my friends have your number? Is there a number where my friends where you can take care of me and my friends?
Yes.
Because I like spoiling myself at this point in my life. Make it easy on me,
That's right. That's right. So after you've called Social Security, then you wanna use option 2 for Medicare.
Right.
So when you call that 800 number, you want to use option 2. It'll be for Medicare. And they send you out your card. It's a red, white, and blue card. then you want to call me. Now, my number is 833-923-1154. That's my direct line to my office.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can help you get a plan. I will also give you information about things that may be of interest to you. Like, say, for instance, you have prescription drugs and you just got regular Medicare. Sometimes your drugs can be very, very expensive. I know people who take really, really expensive drugs. I've seen drugs as high as $30,000 and $40,000 for a month's supply.
No.
Yes.
Drugs.
Oh
yeah, Ken
yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh yes.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
There are drugs like that.
Yeah.
So I have information. I will share resources with them to where they can actually call and get in touch with the pharmaceutical companies to be able to get those drugs at highly discounted or free.
Okay. What about vitamins? Is that covered under that? Mm-hmm.
So your supplements are covered under your over-the-counter benefit. If there is, some plans don't have over-the-counter benefits.
Okay.
Some carriers don't provide it, but most do.
Mm-hmm.
Most will give you an over-the-counter benefit. That over-the-counter benefit can be used at different stores or through your carrier's catalog over the phone for home delivery.
Mm-hmm.
So some of the stores you can go to is like Walmart, CVS to utilize those benefits.
Okay, got it. So it's a store that actually carries they actually carry the
the carrier itself. So whomever your carrier is of your secondary plan.
Okay.
So that could be the carriers are people like Cigna, United
Healthcare.
Oh,
okay. Uh-huh.
Humana, Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield. Those are the carriers.
Okay.
So those carriers.
So you get a separate card. You get a separate card from the carriers.
You either get a separate card or they'll send you out a catalog.
Okay.
Okay. Some of the carriers let you go to the store and spend your benefit, and some of those benefits do roll over until the end of the year, so you don't lose those benefits because they're usually quarterly benefits.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're usually quarterly benefits. Some carriers will let them roll over. Some carriers don't allow them to roll over.
Okay,
so that's what you would purchase your vitamins with your over-the-counter benefit. Okay, now there are some vitamins that your doctor will prescribe, and your medical plan your prescription drug plan inside of your medical plan may honor those, may provide those vitamins for you. Mm-hmm. But there are certain special vitamins, like there's a vitamin D3 that's 50,000 units, and you take one per week.
Mm.
That's
is it vitamin? Is it with K2? It has K2.
No, it's just a vitamin D.
Okay.
It's 50,000 units, so it's not something you go walk in the store and just find.
Yeah.
And it's a high potency vitamin, and the doctor has to prescribe it, and some plans will pay for it, some plans won't.
Okay, got it.
It just depends.
Yeah, okay. Excellent. All right, so now it's October, and I'm calling this number to register for Medicare A and B. And then once I get registered with that, I'm going to call you to get started with Medicare Advantage.
Absolutely.
All right. And then, so both of those, they would send me cards. So I would get the red, white, and blue card with the Medicare.
From Medicare.
And then another card from whoever the carrier is that I sign up to.
Absolutely.
Oh, you just simplified that for me.
Absolutely.
Because that was
Absolutely.
not yet. So now, all the information you just provided, is there a website or something that people can go to know this, or is this
To learn more
to
about
learn
Medicare?
more? Yes, yeah, to
Yes,
just
they
ease
can
into
go.
it again.
They can go to Medicare.gov. And you can find out just about anything you want to know about Medicare on Medicare.gov.
Okay.
Okay?
And
Actually, it's one of the resources that I use when I'm working because it allows me to see, for the most part, it doesn't show all the plans that are in an area, but it shows you the majority of the plans that are in an area. And so it helps me to see what kind of plan this person has or what's available. Now, let me tell you about enrollment periods.
yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Because we want to talk about enrollment periods.
Okay.
So this is for Medicare Advantage only. Medicare Supplement, you can enroll at any time, basically. But Medicare Advantage only have certain periods that you can enroll in. And it depends on your circumstances. So for everybody can enroll from October 15th through December 7th. They can enroll in the Annual Enrollment Period, or the AEP. All right? Then the next enrollment period starts January the 1st through March 31st, and that one is called the OEP, or the Open Enrollment Period.
Okay. And what's the difference? Is just the timing if people miss those dates or something?
Well, the annual enrollment period is when everybody can look at plans. And this is when the carriers put out all the new plans for that year.
Okay.
So all the new plans, all the new benefits, what they've given and all of that during AEP, this is when we find out all of this information.
Cool.
Now, the OEP is, say for instance, during the AEP you got a plan, but you don't like the plan and you want to change it. Well, you have from January 1st through March 31st to change that plan.
Okay.
To get another plan, right? And even if you did not enroll during the annual enrollment period, chances are you can still enroll during the AEP.
Got it. Okay.
Now, the other enrollment periods is the ICEP. That's the period where, say, for instance, you got Part A in August of 2019, but you didn't get Part B until January of 2020. Okay? So once you got Part B, now you can enroll in a Medicare Advantage plan. So what the ICEP is like your initial enrollment, but it's because you just got Part B.
So you can't get Medicare Advantage until you have both.
You gotta have both A and B in order to get Medicare Advantage, or a Medicare supplement plan. You can't get either without both A and B. You gotta have both of them. Okay. And you gotta have a prescription drug plan too.
Now, what qualifies people for Medicaid if they're not at their retirement age?
For Medicaid or Medicare?
Medicaid, because you
Medicaid.
Yeah, because you were saying they could use that as a supplement. Medicaid.
Well, okay, so Medicaid, people qualify for Medicaid based on their income. Most states say that if you earn under $17,000 a year, you qualify for Medicaid. That's most states, but they can always go online and Google it. Okay? Google is your friend.
Google is your friend.
Google is your friend.
Okay.
And I'm not just advertising Google, but I'm just telling you.
No, that's friend. Right. So you can learn more quickly, and sometimes in a language that you can understand.
Absolutely. So that's how people get Medicaid. You gotta apply from your state. So it's usually like Illinois.gov. Okay. Then you apply for Medicaid through Illinois.gov because they have all the different links there.
Got it.
Or any other state. You go to that state and .gov. Okay. It's usually that's how it goes.
Right.
But Medicaid, when you have both Medicaid and Medicare, you qualify. Well, before we get to that, let's get back to the enrollment periods because there's some more enrollment periods I want to tell people about.
Yes.
Okay, so you have the IEP. And the IEP is your initial enrollment period. So that's what you'll be doing.
And when I do in October?
Yep, you'll be doing the IEP, initial enrollment period. Then the last one is the SEP, special enrollment period. So if you are a person who have both Medicare and Medicaid, you actually get 4 quarters a year to enroll in Medicare or into a Medicare Advantage plan. You have your first quarter, which is January 1st through March 31st.
Oh, yes.
The second quarter is April 1st through June 30th. The third quarter is July 1st through September 30th. And the last enrollment period is October 15th through December 7th. All right. So those are the 4 times that a person who have both Medicare and Medicaid, or if they have Medicare and extra help, extra help with prescription drug coverage. If you have Medicare and extra help with prescription drug coverage, you get those 4 quarters too. Okay. Now, let me talk about people with VA and TRICARE, because that's very important.
VA, like Veterans Administration?
Yes, ma'am.
And TRICARE?
That's veterans benefits as well.
Okay.
Yeah. Some people have TRICARE for life, and some people have VA, or some people have both.
Okay.
So, remember I told you about those MA plans, Medicare Advantage plans, but they don't have prescription drug coverage? Well, those plans are designed for people like them. Because they usually get their prescription drug benefits through the government.
Right, through the Veterans Administration.
Through the Veterans or TRICARE. But they usually get their prescription drugs, and most of them, drugs are free. Okay, or very, very low cost. Right. Okay. Yeah, because I've heard people paying $8 a month for their prescriptions. But what people don't understand is some of the Medicare Advantage plans do even outdo them when it comes down to prescription drug coverage. So it's a toss-up. Okay. But they don't need to have a prescription drug plan. So they can do, there are some plans that actually help you pay your Part B premium that are out nowadays. And you've probably heard them advertised on TV and all this, that, and the other. People with veterans and TRICARE, those are actually great plans for them because they don't usually use the medical side. Very few of them use the medical side of those plans, but all of the other benefits in those plans are excellent. Plus, they get extra money put back into their Social Security check because the carrier is paying part of their Part B premium. So when the carrier pays part of your Part B premium, that part that the carrier paid, you don't have to pay. So that money stays in your Social Security check. So it's almost like you get a raise.
Mm-hmm.
And it depends on the state, or the zip code in which you live in, or county, where the plans give you more or less.
Right.
So it just depends. Also, a special election period, you could move. If you move from one county to the next, or move from one state to the next, or even change addresses. Sometimes you still get a special enrollment period as long as you change carriers. If you stay in the same carrier, you're in the same county, you can keep that carrier. But if you want to change carriers at that point, you can. And so if you have 2 months after you move or 2 months before you move,
okay,
to change on a move. If you lose Medicaid, say for instance, Medicaid cuts you off.
Mm-hmm.
If you get cut off from Medicaid, that triggers a special enrollment period.
Got it.
And there are other triggers as well, but those are just a few of the triggers. But there's several of them. So, for the sake of time, I won't go through all of them. But there are several of them.
But they can always call you.
Yes, they can.
And when they have those special situations or triggers, as you call them, yeah.
Right,
mm-hmm.
right. So if you're trying to get a plan outside of October 7th, between October 15th and December 7th, or January 1st and March 31st, if you don't get into those 2 windows, then the only way you can look at plans is that you have a special election period. That is the only way you can look at plans or change plans, get a new plan, is having a special election period. So that's why I gave you all of those special election periods, so you know that
they're available.
There's a possibility.
Yeah, they're
what
available.
Their availability is.
Yeah, that's great. This has been so helpful. Oh my God. What else? Is there anything else? I have like 8 pages of notes.
All right. I'm trying to think. What else is there?
Because you've answered most of the questions on my list. And again, I know that people are hesitant when it comes to moving into this well, maybe they're not as hesitant as I am, but
no, there are people that are. You're very right. There are a lot of people like yourself.
Mm-hmm. And I tend to be a healthy person, so I think, I don't need that because I'm healthy. I don't have any.
It has nothing to do.
It has nothing to do with it. And then when you're and see, had you not mentioned that, I wouldn't be looking at that because I'm like, I'm healthy. I don't need to enroll in that. But you're saying if I don't enroll, I'm penalized once I turn 65.
You're standing the chance to be penalized.
Mm-hmm.
It's one thing to be penalized for Part D prescription drugs, but it's another thing to be penalized for not having Part B.
Yeah.
So you want to definitely enroll on time. Also, it's not about being healthy. You could go out and have an accident tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And need medical coverage.
Immediately. And then you have nothing.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. And it has nothing to do with the health of your physical body.
That's right.
I mean, you know what I'm saying is you don't have to have no kind of ailments. But if you go out there and have an accident or something fall on top of your head or something like that, you need medical coverage.
That's right.
Right, yeah. So, because I'm a healthy person, and that was one of my things when I was younger. I'm healthy. I don't need medical coverage. And I went without it, and I learned acupuncture and all the rest of that stuff so I could take care of me and my children without having the white coats.
Yes, yeah.
But as you get older, it becomes a little bit different. You can still treat yourself with herbs and all the rest of that, but
you still have to have some supplementation in the event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you're older, you're more susceptible to falls and stuff of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not to say that you know something's wrong, but you never know. It's like having an old car.
Yeah.
You got an old car, it might be running good today, but tomorrow it might be doing something else. So
I was working with, last week I was working with one of my guests, and he was teaching us about astrology and relationships. Actually, he'll be back next week because we're going to do more talk about that. But anyway, we were going through the charts because we're going to help people go through their charts so they can even look at their health and come to find out, I actually have 3 charts in 3 planets in Sagittarius. Sagittarius rules the hips, right? And I was like, oh, gee, it would explain breaking my hip down near at 17. And then out of the blue, it's a lot of things because I was born during a Mercury retrograde and a Uranus retrograde. Okay, so it's like there's just accidents can happen out of nowhere.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I'm having to have some acceptance of that because it's like, excuse me, I don't be running down the street and all that.
Listen, let me tell you, I have a Gemini rising.
Yeah. I have a Gemini moon. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so and that covers the lungs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I have to really, really work at my respiratory.
Yes.
You know, I mean, I'm a big proponent of fresh limes.
Yeah.
Because fresh limes help my lungs.
Yes.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
So it just depends. And then I'm born in the 5th month.
Right.
And the number 5 is accident prone.
Oh my goodness.
So you hear me say I had 2 bad accidents, one in 2014 and one in 2015.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
So it's like, it has nothing to do, people
but
need to understand.
Yes. No, I get it. It makes all the difference in the world. Yes, it makes all the difference. And then so that when you require help, you can have it. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, it's just ready for you. You don't. If you don't use it, you don't use it.
Better safe than sorry.
Yeah.
Better safe than sorry.
Very good. Yes.
Yeah. So, and on top of that, Medicare, people don't understand. Medicare Advantage is one of the best things that happened to us seniors. It really is.
Okay.
I mean, some of the benefits, some of the plans offer benefits that are just wow. I have people sometimes ask me, certain states, I have people ask me, so who's paying for this if I don't have to pay for this plan? And I tell them, you paid for it already.
Yeah.
You deserve it. All the taxes you pay in this country, all of the Medicare money you gave them while you work. I mean, all the different things that takes to live in this country, you put your part in the pot. Mm-hmm. And so you deserve it. So who cares?
Yeah.
As long as you're being taken care of, that's what's more important. And on top of that, every month, you get him $170.10
from your Social Security. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people look at it and they don't realize it because they never see it going out.
Yes, because you're just looking at my take home pay. I'm not worried about the net, right, and all of that, right?
Not only that, but in their Social Security check.
Yes.
See, at least you see your paycheck.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
But I don't see my Social Security check before I get my Social Security allotment in my bank account every month.
So you don't know what's coming out of it or not.
I don't. So I have to trust that, but I know that they're taking the $170.10 a month
to pay
out of my check.
To pay Plan B, right?
Mm-hmm. To pay paying for Part B, not Plan B.
Part B.
Part B. Mm-hmm. Right. So, this is why I say to people, when you get Medicare age, Get your Medicare. Get all of those benefits that you work so hard. I have people tell me they don't want to get on Medicaid and they only get $500 a month. It's like, wait a minute. Stop the stupidity. Here's the deal. You worked all your life.
Yeah.
And the government is only giving you $500 a month.
Mm-hmm.
You better go get your money.
Yeah.
Medicaid owes you.
Mm-hmm.
Go get your money. You know, and then I get that some people don't want to deal with the formalities because it's a lot of formalities dealing with Medicaid and all the rest of them. You got to go here and fill out this paper and send this in and send that in. But sometimes when you're not getting a lot, it's worth it.
That's why I wouldn't sign up for AARP. I'm like, I do not want you all sending me something every day. Well, even if you don't, when you get to a certain age, they're like, you don't have to sign up. We still sending you all this. We still know. We know who you are.
AARP is a medical plan. That's United Healthcare.
What? Get out of here.
Yeah. AARP is one of the medical plans that people get into, enroll into.
And I'm thinking it's just
provided through United Healthcare.
Okay. I'm thinking it's just a consortium of information for elderly people.
No, it's not just the club.
Yeah. This is where you can buy some good walking shoes, you know.
Yes,
this is where you can get your wheelchair. This is where you get your security.
No. You get all of that in your Medicare health plan.
Oh, my goodness. Okay.
You get your personal emergency response system. Most plans give you, Medicare Advantage plans give you a personal emergency response button, the wristband or the neck pendant, and the monitoring at no cost to you. And your wheelchairs, oxygen, CPAP machine, that's durable medical equipment. That's in your Medicare Advantage plan. So all of those things are a part of being a senior.
Yeah.
You know, or being human for that matter, because you don't have to be a senior to need those things.
No, that's right. I know people much younger than 60 that sometimes had to
I know people much younger than 30 that needs that kind of stuff. But, you know, it's the fact of the matter is there is a need for it. Those are things that are being realistic about life. It happens to some of the best of us, you know.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you could be super healthy today, and tomorrow you can't even get up out of the bed.
Like when we all went through COVID with this whole thing the last 3 years, everybody had some effect of that. Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I thank God.
Yes.
That I did not wound up with it.
Yeah.
I thank God every day.
That's right.
Didn't wound up with it, but I had family members.
Yes.
Who were affected by it.
That's right.
And who did get it. You know, and they all lived. I ain't had nobody that passed away with it.
Right.
But, you know, but we all, as Americans, were affected in some way, as you said, in some way, shape, or form.
way, that's right. It was all around us. That's right.
Even if it's just the mental and emotional aspect of it. Because think about it. You used to going out your house every day, doing whatever you want.
Couldn't go to any place. That's right.
Yeah, you know, hugging them, kissing them, and all of that. Now all of a sudden, you can't even hug your mom and daddy.
We can't even see them. I know my aunt, she wouldn't let us in her house for 2.5, 3 years. Like, we can't come in. You know, how we going to check on you? Right.
Right. So, you know, we were all affected. And then, you know, well, we just had a beautiful vacation, remember?
Yes.
I mean, a very beautiful vacation.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
More, please.
Yes. But I realized during that vacation, when we were sitting at the table talking, I was so affected by not having been around people.
Yes, I tell everybody I didn't know I needed that vacation. I didn't know I needed to be with you all.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. You know that. Yeah, and I'm so grateful for it. Yeah, and it was just like, wow, That's why surrendering to your spirit is so important instead of surrendering to your schedule or your finances or what people think you should be doing. Because, God say, hey, we doing this right now.
Thank you.
And you say, okay. And then it's like, oh my God, how blessed.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And that's the reason why I said, it was a well-deserved communion that we had together, because I was so overwhelmed with emotions and just being able to share with my sisters, how I felt inside.
Oh, we had some beautiful conversations. I mean, and even this came about. I'm like, hey, you gotta come and tell my audience about Medicare, because all of us are eventually going to move into that space. God,
absolutely,
absolutely. Right. And so if we don't if we have the information, it really calms us down. And then we can set it up. Now I know, October 15th, that, when we were there, you say, put that in your schedule. I put that right in my schedule so it'll pop up, and we'll begin that process.
Actually, you can call Social Security October 1st. You don't have to wait until the 15th.
Okay.
Because this is your initial enrollment period.
Okay.
Initial enrollment period, like I said, is 3 months before your birthday, the month of your birthday, and 3 months after your birthday. All right, so remember that. It doesn't have to be October 15th.
It can be October 1st. Right. Very cool.
Yes, ma'am.
Very cool.
Yes, ma'am.
Well,
you can even call them in September and tell them, my 3 months is starting next month, October.
Now. It's right. Can I get started?
And they'll tell you exactly what to do and how to do it.
Very good. So those were all the questions. Let me check and see if anybody has asked any questions. And this has just been the best information. I tell you, Moot, it makes me feel really excited that I can take care of this now. Because between you and Tia, it was like, will y'all leave me alone?
No, we want you to make sure that you're taken care of. That's very important.
Very important, and I appreciate it. So can you give your number out so that people that I know some of my friends have already turned 65, and I'm hoping that they have did this process. But if not, they can call you and work it through.
So they can reach me at 833 923 1154. If I don't answer, stay on the line and leave me a voicemail.
Okay.
And I will call you back. I return all of my phone calls. I'm in my office Monday through Friday from 12:30 in the afternoon until 9 p.m. Eastern time.
So 12:30 to 8:30 our time.
Yep. No, 8 p.m.
8 p.m.
It would be 12:30 to 8 p.m.
8 p.m. Cool.
That's Eastern time, so you can do it according
do the math, right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm more than happy to help whomever that needs help.
Well, that is wonderful, and I just really appreciate you. You always go so deep into everything. If you,
I know,
right? That's why we call this the ins and outs of Medicare, because you're gonna go in and tell us what to get out of it.
Yes. Oh, one more thing. I just want to let you guys know: if you wound up with a penalty. Penalties are for life.
What?
Penalties are for life. And like I said, the only way you can avoid a penalty is with regards to your income. If you can get Social Security to give you extra help with prescription drug coverage, or you get Medicaid. Other than that, penalties are for life. They don't go away.
Oh my goodness. So that's important
Right.
to know.
So you want to make sure that after you've gotten your Medicare Part A and B, once you get that card, it's 63 days after your 7th month.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a total of 93 days, okay? Or 7 months. Well, it's more than 93 days, but 7 months
and
plus
then
63 days.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay? So if you don't get enrolled in at least a prescription drug plan within that 63-day period, that's when the penalties begin. And they will wait. They will wait until you get into a plan with prescription drugs. You think you got a 0 premium plan, and here comes this carrier calling you up or sending you a letter letting you know that you got to pay this amount of money.
What?
So I want you to, yes. Oh, yes. You're penalized. So I'm just letting people know, because that's one of the biggest issues that people have with Medicare. They don't read the literature, because when you enroll, they send you out literature, but nobody wants to read that big CMS book.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and I get it.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact of the matter is that you can be penalized if you don't read the rules and regulations. It's just like the rules of the road.
Yes.
If you don't know the rules of the road, guess what? You get a ticket.
You still penalized because you still have to know the information. That's exactly right.
That's right.
Well, one thing about it, Moot, this podcast, it goes it's on Podpage, it goes to Apple, it goes to Google, but I'm going to make sure I personally share with you, and you can share it with your constituent or your audience, and we will have it, and we will make sure that as many people as that we know has this information, because it's really important. It has made a huge difference for me. I want you to know. Yes, thank you. And I can tell my daughter, okay, well, your Auntie Kathy straightened me out.
Yes.
As usual.
Well, we have to take care of one another. That's what it's all about.
I agree.
That's what it's all about.
I totally agree. So we've come to the end of this segment. Do you have any final words that you would like to share with my audience?
Yes, Moot. Thank you for having me on your show. Mm-hmm. I so appreciate being and on the show and having this platform to just presence people who are getting Medicare or becoming eligible for Medicare, or who's in Medicare and still don't understand it. I appreciate having this platform so I can explain things in some form or fashion to people, so that they can understand what they're coming up on. Because Medicare, it's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And people need to understand that it is a good thing, and so it is something that we need to understand.
Yes. Wonderful. Thank you. And I appreciate you making time for us and giving us all this juicy information. And then for being so generous to give people your number, and you can take care of folks. And now they met you and they'll feel more, you're approachable. They'll feel comfortable reaching out and having you assist them. So that makes a difference too. So thank you for that.
You're welcome. You're very welcome.
Yes. And so for the rest of my audience, let me tell you that next week we will have Samir Ali again, and we will be talking about astrology and relationship. But this time he's telling us about why people cheat based on those astrological hookups. So, and he's actually sharing with us a process called the 19 codes of relationship behaviors. So, Mood, I'll make sure that I send you that form, because please. You can look at where you're compatible in your relationships with people, and then you can determine before you go any further whether or not that relationship is a good one for you. Or if you're in that relationship, you can see, what can I do to fine tune this so that I can make it work? Because sometimes you can't, right? So join us next week on Patiently Waiting for Nothing. And in the meantime, we want you to practice being patient, loving, and kind. Thanks, everybody, and we'll see you next week. Same station, same time. Good night. Thanks, Kathy.
Good night. All right.
All right. Good night.